Hey guys, how's it going? We're back for our weekly Q&A and we're joined by Miss Needy. Usually, if we are filming the Q&A outside, she gets put inside, and if we're inside, she gets put outside. But it is currently raining outside, and she does not like the rain. So, she's not going to look at the camera today. She's going to stare outside, apparently. Huh. So she's going to join us for our Q&A, little Miss Freya. So normally she's not allowed on the couch. We just got a brand new couch and she's not allowed on it, but we put a blanket down and we're trying to train her to only go where the blanket is. And so technically her elbow is on the wrong cushion and she knows it. She likes to push boundaries a lot. And she wants me to stop talking about her. So we're going to move on. So last week's videos were last week's Q&A, which was, will the fountain blow over? And do I think geraniums smell bad? And then we did our first garden tour of the year, which was very exciting that we got our garden tour up. And then it was, I said I wouldn't buy anything, and I bought dahlias, planting every color, which is when I planted some things with Jalen. And then looks like something is actually happening. And then we did put out a Saturday video. We're filming this Friday. We film usually Fridays at the end of the day for our Q&A, so we have all weekend to edit them. And we put up our last Saturday video for a while. So if you guys have suggestions for Saturday videos, we're trying to keep Saturday videos short. The last, I think, 2 were kind of a little bit long. We're trying to keep them about like a 10-minute long video. So short, little quick topics. I have a couple already in mind that I do want to film. But if you guys have an idea, drop them in the comments down below because I would love some more inspiration for them. We want to pump out as many Saturday videos as we can if we have them. And if we don't have them, then we're just not going to stress about it. So they're just kind of little bonus videos. So the first video that we did was last week's Q&A, and the first question on there was from Keith, and actually a few people had the exact same question. And it was, why is your fence behind you where you are answering questions a different color? And I think part of it was lighting. I went back and I watched it, and it definitely did look like it was a different color. So half the fence looked like it was black, and the other part looked like it was like a charcoal gray. And then there was also a strip that was brown. The strip that was brown was the fabric from the like shade cloth on the gazebo that we were under. And then the other part was, it was in full shade, and the other part was getting hit by sunlight. So it kind of like, it blew out like in color from the camera. So it is all solid black. I swear. It's just, it was just lighting. The next question on that video is from Pat L, and they had said, regarding your existing patio, why would it need to come out? You can get concrete overlay on top. There are also several designs that can be put on it. I'm actually having my lanai done this Friday. They will sand down the existing finish and then spray on the new finish. I have an 18 by 18 patio, and it will cost a little over $3,500. I'm in Florida, and things are pricey here. So normally they can, but the concrete pad that's there wasn't poured very well. We actually had somebody come out and they talked to us about it, and they said that because it's cracked, it's obviously shifting, so it wasn't poured properly, and they're afraid that it would continue to crack, and those cracks would just migrate up to the new existing patio. So it really just wouldn't be smart. Otherwise, we're gonna pay all this money for a new patio to go on top of it, or a concrete patio to go on top of it, and the cracks would just push up through that. So we would have to get it removed just because of how severe the cracks are. Okay, bye. Thanks for joining us today. The next question on that video was from Beyond This Garden Gate, and they had said, hi Robbie, I really enjoy your Q&A video. I was wondering what fertilizer you use on your willow tree. We planted one 3 years ago and it hasn't grown much. Fingers crossed it will leap this year. Keep up your great videos. Can't wait to see more of your garden journey. Thank you. So as far as fertilizer, we've never really fertilized our willow tree, but I will say the more water it gets, the faster it will grow. And so, she's bringing out all of her toys now. So the more water it gets, the faster it grows. Ours is set where we used to have lawn, and so it was getting a ton of water because we were trying to keep the lawn alive, and the willow was sucking up all of the extra moisture. So it was getting water, and a ton of it every single day, and sometimes twice a day, especially in the like summer months. And so that's what made it grow so fast. The second year that we had it in the ground, I didn't water it as much, and I could totally see a difference in it. The leaves were yellow, it wasn't very happy with us, and it didn't grow at all. And I was like, what is going on? And then I was like, it's a willow tree. It needs a lot of water. So we used to just, at some points during like extremely hot days, I would take the hose and I would just let it run for half hour on like a medium speed on the hose. And so it gets a lot of water. So that's the biggest thing. If you want your willow tree to grow, is water. The more water you give it, the faster it's going to grow. The next question on that video is from Fabric and Flowers, and they had said, thank you for inspiring me in the garden. I've been in a flower funk for a few years, and watching you has put a bee in my bonnet. Feels good to enjoy my garden again. Question, can we get an update on your grandparents' puppy? Yes, update on the puppy. My grandmother and I surprised my grandfather with a puppy, and it's a little Shih Tzu, and they named him Charlie. And he is the cutest little terror in the world. He's very sweet, and he is the most energetic puppy ever. He does not run out of energy, and it's insane. So they absolutely love him, and he is going to get away with whatever he wants. My grandmother will let him do anything he ever pleases in the whole wide world. If he wanted to borrow the car, I'm sure she would allow that. But he's so cute, and he's doing super well. They're in the middle of training right now, and he's very stubborn, but he's so cute, and I think my grandparents are very, very happy to have him. The next question on that video is from Connie, and she had said, I'm here for the Jalen love. Her hair looks so cute in the last video, and such a joy to watch on your videos. Is she a senior this year? Keep your videos with her coming. She is a senior this year, and she's planning her senior graduation party, and she is a senior girl, that's for sure. Not dramatic at all. We're trying to get everything nailed down and planned, and she wants to have the most people there that she possibly can have. And so it's been this whole fiasco to try to find a date that works for every single person, I will say that. But she is a senior year, and she's already planned her senior trip, and so she'll be graduating here very soon, which is super weird for me. And the last question on that video is from Jennifer, and she had said, good morning, Robbie and Brent. How large of a pot for those trees, gallons and inches? What are your thoughts on pre-emergent? Excited to see Jalen plant her finds. She is so fun and precious. I had really hoped that you had got that frog and placed it in the garden and not shown Brent. I would have loved to have seen his face when he discovered it. I must say that since you decided to be a full-time gardener/YouTuber, you have such a happier, relaxed way about you. I love it. Thank you for sharing another great Q&A. Jen, Zone 9B, Texas Gulf Coast. So the Kilmarnock willow is in a 24-inch wide opening pot, and it's our rolled room terracotta pots. And I will say that they get extra water because terracotta wicks away the moisture. And then the magnolia, the Ricky, is in a 20-inch pot. So it's about 20 gallons for the small one and about 24, 25 gallons for the big one. So very large containers. They're absolutely massive. The next video that we did was our garden tour. And it feels so good to get that garden tour up because we hadn't done one. And since we've already filmed that, there has already been so much change that has happened. There's so many more things that are blooming and things that have already faded from blooms. And there's just a lot of change. I mean, even the like pathways in the garden have changed already. So it's just been so crazy to film that. And then a whole bunch of change happened. The first question on that video is from Jordan, and he had said, will or have you and Brent been to the RHS flower show before? And first I wanted to say thank you for sending that. And no, we have not been to the flower show. For me, it's a dream trip. I would love to go. We have never been before, but we would love to go. We watch it on the TV every year. We actually have like rewatched it before, especially like with Monty Don. Oh, it's the best. So no, we haven't. One day we will go though, especially like, I don't know, I mean, that's like such a dream trip. So that will happen at some point. The next question on that video is from Kathy, and she had said, what was the pretty pink flower by the front fence? It looks so good. Did I miss where the flowers went that you bought with your sister? And I think that was the next video that we planted everything up. And then the pink flower by the front fence, I think that you were talking about the fringe flower with like the very soft little pink dainty flowers on there. Yeah, Chinese fringe flower. And it is super beautiful little flowers. The next question on that video is from Allie, and she had said, hi Robbie, I'm a new subscriber and wanted to know what happened to your juiced orange jessamine. That was so long ago. I think you might have messaged me on Instagram also. We ended up taking it out because the hummingbirds did not love it, and that was the main reason that I wanted to plant that plant. So it was one that It was marketed as hummingbirds absolutely loved it, and I was very, very excited about it. And it had all of the components that hummingbirds should have loved, but we never saw a single hummingbird on it. Plus, I also might have planted it in the wrong spot. It really wanted full sun, and where I planted it, it was full-ish sun, but I think it needed even more sun than that. I mean, technically it got like the 6 hours of sun, but I think that was like the bare minimum that it could handle. I think it needed even more than that. So it kind of got a little leggy, and then the flowers weren't as beautiful as I wanted. They were very truly orange, and that just doesn't do it for me. And then the hummingbirds didn't love it. So I was like, 3 strikes, you're out. And so I did pull it. The next question on that video is from Doreen, and she had said, the tops of the arbs look good. Would you consider trimming the junky looking stuff from the bottom and underplanting with some taller hostas or something to fill in the bottom? I had actually planted hostas down there when we first planted them, and the hostas just didn't make it. It did get too much sun, which is weird for the hostas down there. And I think I'm just gonna pull the arbs. I don't want them to look like weird little lollipops. So I'm gonna just pull them. I mean, if somebody wants to come and get them, I'll probably put it on Facebook Marketplace for someone to come and get them and dig them out themselves, maybe. I mean, they look really bad though. And so I think I'm gonna pull them, and I think I wanna find a tree that is like pleached, or I want to figure out how I can start pleaching a tree, which is basically meaning that like the tree is kept so it's almost espaliered, so it's flat. It's very common in like UK gardens. And so I think I want to see about finding something that's pleached. I need something tall right there. The house that's next to us is kind of on like, it's not 2-story house, but it's like 1.5 stories. So like the whole house is raised up quite a bit, and so their whole house looks right into our yard. And so we don't really have privacy there, and that's why I planted those arbs. They didn't grow fast, and now they look like not the best. So I'm gonna just pull them. I mean, technically they're like out of our growing zone anyways, and so they really don't always thrive here. I was really thinking about hawthorns. I really want to add a couple hawthorns to the property. I think they're really, really pretty trees, and they can take to pleaching really nice. And the next question on that video is from Darlene, and she had said, Robbie, did you cut your Eden Climber rose back or just take the leaves off? I just took all of the leaves off of it, and then I've gone around and I've fertilized all of my roses. The next question on that video was from Yolanda, and she had said, so impressed with that before and after of your front of your house. What is the yellow flower in the bed next to the cellar door? That is a primrose, and it wintered over for me for the last like 2 years. It dies back to the ground in the summertime, and then it comes back in the springtime for me. It's a little yellow primrose. The next question on that video is from Knitter, and they had said, Robbie, just curious, are you left-handed? The door handle on your beautiful mirrored garden gate looks like it's on the wrong side. You know what's funny is Brent and I are both left-handed, but I'm ambidextrous, and so yeah, I think we have multiple doors that are on the wrong side. So we only have like 5 doors in our house. 1, 2, 3. No, we have 6 doors in our house, and only 3 of them are for right-handed people, and the rest of them are for left-handed people, us. And so I don't even think about it when I use a door because I'm ambidextrous, so it just comes naturally to me. I actually like throw a ball, and I play baseball with my right hand or my right side, and the only thing that I really do left-handed is writing. And I don't even, like, I can also write with my right hand, but I can only write with my right hand backwards, if that makes sense. I can't write forwards very well, but I can write backwards, so I can write with both hands at the same time, and I can write out things. I don't know. Weird fact. And the last question on that video is from Little Bit of Everything Homestead, and they had said, love it, everything looks great. Love your future plans. Question, where do you purchase your finch from? Do you hatch or order new birds? So we started out with 5, and then we bought a couple more, so we had a total of 8 of them, and then they all started having babies, and then we went almost to 20 birds, I think we were at one point, before they got wiped out, which was really unfortunate. So we will be getting more birds. We just order them from my local pet shop. The next video that we did was I said I won't buy anything, but look at these dahlias. And I came home with a bunch of dahlia tubers, and I can't wait with dahlia tubers. I'm not surprised that I did. I was with my friend Chiming, and I saw them, or we ran over to buy some dahlias, and she bought more than me, so I was on my best behavior. First question on that video is from Bloom Wildly, and they had said, you inspired me to try to topiary my coleus. Thank you. I've never seen that before. Very excited to experiment with that. Question, I know that ceramic container with the twig obelisk has bin behind you in many videos, but I can't figure out what is growing in it. Is it sweet peas? Do you keep them trimmed so they stay that compact? It is not sweet peas. It is pansies. And I don't remember the variety. It's like a pastel pink color. I think it's called like pastel mix or something like that. So just some pansies. The next question on that video is from Sabine, and she had said, Robbie, what do? I stored my dahlias in my cool garage and they are wrinkly. They were wrinkly last year and ended up growing, but how is it that other people store them and they all look plump? So it could be a couple things. It could be temperature. They might be getting too hot in your garage. If they get too hot, they will wrinkle. If they dry out too much, they will wrinkle. So you could always go through, I don't know if you're storing them in wood shavings or if you're using vermiculite. I think vermiculite is like the preferred method of storing dahlias. I haven't experimented with having to store my dahlias. I don't need to do that here. If you're trying to store them, vermiculite, and you need to get them like a little bit moist. I know that like Florette Flower, she's done a couple of videos on dahlia storage. I know Laura has done a couple of videos on dahlia storage. I'm not sure who else has done like really in-depth videos on storing dahlias. So I would go back and I would watch somebody else on YouTube who has to actually store them, who has success with it. I'm probably not the best person to give the most advice on storing dahlias just because I don't have to do that here. And the last question on that video is from Garden Happy, and they had said, hi Robbie, I have a question. Even though dahlias want full sun, mine do way better in dappled shade. I'm also in California, zone 9B. Do you grow your dahlias in full sun, or have you noticed they do better with hot afternoon protection? Thanks for being you, Liz. So I've actually kind of noticed a mix on that. One year I grew one called Petra's Wedding, I believe is what it was. It's a ball type dahlia, and that one got cooked full hot afternoon sun, and that thing produced the most blooms from a dahlia that I've ever seen. And I've also grown some other ones in full sun, and I noticed like during the day in the hot afternoon sun they wilt and then they come back. I know the wilting is just a protection for them. They wilt so that they're not losing moisture from the leaves. But they wilt during the midday and then they plump back up by the evening, and then they do fine, but I do notice that like some of them do prefer afternoon shade. I grew one called Breakout, and it got afternoon shade. It got all morning up to probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it got sun, and then it started to get some like afternoon shade, and that one performed beautifully. It never wilted on me. The blooms were huge on it, and it was perfect. I mean, it's a dinner plate dahlia, but it did get protection from the afternoon sun. So I think like ones like the ball type dahlias can totally handle it, but I think that the ones that create big, huge dinner plate blooms could probably benefit from maybe just a little bit of protection from the hot afternoon sun. The next video that we did was planting every color. It's a lot. And we got a lot of color planted in the garden. It's very vibrant, very bright. I do like it. It's just a lot of color. The first question on that video is from Yee Carter, and they had said, hello Jalen, how is your houseplant doing? So far it's still alive, and she actually moved it so it's closer to a window, so it's getting a bit more light. And the pieces that we already cut off that I broke off have already started to grow roots. So soon there will be even more. The next question on that video is from Brent, and he had said, what kind of little birds are those? Those are zebrafinch, and those are the ones that we have in our aviary. And the last question on that video is from Bearbell, and they had said, she is such a beautiful girl, and I think that it is great that you work together so well. That bed will be looking just great. How far away from you does she live? She is about 40 minutes away from us. So she lives up in a town called Paradise, and then we're in Los Molinos. And it's really funny because it's raining here and it's snowing up at her house right now. So they're getting a ton of snow up there, which is really crazy. Their last frost date is actually the 15th. I looked it up this morning. Today's the 14th that I'm filming it. And last frost date for them is tomorrow. So technically getting snow is still possible for them. And our last frost was a couple weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago at this point. So it's just funny to think that they still get snow. But they are up in the mountains and they're at a pretty high elevation. And the last video that we did was looks like something is actually happening, Garden Path Day. And it really has totally transformed the space. It's been really, really nice to like actually see some gravel down instead of just seeing dirt and patches of grass. It really feels like it's actually happening now, which is so cool. I mean, I said that when we got the beds in, but now it looks so like peaceful. And we're going to try to wrap this up quick because I have a killer migraine and I've got two very bright lights shining right at my face. So I think I'm just gonna grab 2 or 3 questions from this video so we can go ahead and wrap this up. The first question on that video is from 3 Duncan, and they had said, pausing the video to ask, what spray will kill Bermuda grass? I need it in my life. The main one is the one that is in Roundup, and that is glyphosate. I think is how you pronounce it. I probably pronounced it wrong. That is in Roundup. That's the main one that kills it, but that kills everything. Or there is Fusilade, which I think it's Fusilade 2. And it's best, I'm reading this from Google, this is the one that I've had multiple people recommend, and even some like pest control companies who also do like weed control and stuff like that. This is the one that they use. I've got a couple clients who used to do pest control and weed control and things like that. And so Fusilade 2 is the one that they recommended, and it says that it's an herbicide best known for its effectiveness in controlling Bermuda grass in fescue lawns, so it doesn't kill the fescue in your lawn. But I know it's like super expensive, so like I just found it, Fusilade 2, you can get 4 ounces for $33, so it's very, very expensive for a little tiny bit of it. The next question on that video was from Beer Alley, and she had said, good job you guys, it's already looking so good. When you say 5 yards of the road mix thing, is that by square yards? Just wondering how the quantities are measured. So it's a cubic yard, and Brent was looking it up, and it's about 10,000 pounds of road base that we ordered for the 5 cubic yards, so it was a lot. The next question on that video is from Stacy, and she had said, guys, don't you have gorilla carts that dump? And I just saw a wheelbarrow with 2 front tires. Hi Brent, hi Robbie. Everything is starting to really look great. I looked into the DeWitt Pro, and oh boy, it's a little pricey. How about just DeWitt without the word pro? Is that fabric okay? It's a little more up my alley of affordable, Stacy from Philly. I will say that I do really recommend the DeWitt Pro. We used it for our landscape fabric when we did our flower farm, and I burned holes in it where all of the plants were going in for all of our flowers, and 0 weeds came up through the landscape fabric itself. So the DeWitt Pro, while it's pricey, I really do think it is so worth it to invest in that versus the like super crummy plastic ones that just really like shred and fall apart. And then we do have a gorilla cart, but it's really hard to lift it up when it's that heavy. All of that road base was soaking wet, so it was wet and it's just already a heavy material. So lifting it up like that was really hard, whereas we can lift it up with the wheelbarrow with our hands really, really easy. I will say we probably should get the one with 2 wheels in the front. That would make our lives so much easier. And the last question for the week is from Mary, and she had said, hi Robbie and Brent, your hard work is paying off. Your backyard is looking good. I can only imagine how beautiful it is going to look once all the flowers are planted in your flower beds. You both have been working hard. A good bath with some Epsom salts will help your tired bodies feel better. Question, where did you purchase your decorated water faucet that you have in the backyard? It's gonna look so good when we get all the flowers planted. I cannot wait for that. And then the faucet was actually from Amazon. So I will put a link to that in the description down below. It has been the cutest little thing. We've got 2 of them. So we've got little frogs. And then my grandparents actually gave us their old one from their house that had burned down up in Paradise, and it's a little hummingbird. So we're working on restoring that one. We're gonna have to rebuild the faucet part, but we can reuse the bird that's up top of it. So Amazon is where we got our little brass frog from, so I will put that in the description down below. So that is going to be it, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this Q&A. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm going to go rest because it feels like my face is being exploded from the inside out. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for visiting the inside of our house today, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.